in this lecture we'll discuss what is meant by dissociation, okay, and when dissociation will occur in the case of electronic spectra of a diatomic molecule. Right. Suppose if electronic excitation leads to dissociation of molecule, normal dissociation, okay, not dissociation of diatomic molecule. Okay. If electronic excitation leads to dissociation of diatomic molecule, then there are two ways by which the dissociation will occur. There are two ways that dissociation may occur. Number one, the excitation takes place from stable ground electronic state to a stable excited electronic state. You know very well, stable means electronic state having minimum, okay. And another possibility is that the dissociation may also occur through this route, that is, transition takes place. Suppose if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to an unstable excited electronic state. You know very well, the unstable electronic excited state can also be called as repulsive state. It is also called repulsive state. In these two cases, okay, if excitation takes place, right, you will get dissociation, right. Just I'll show you what is meant by that. See, number one, that is if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to stable excited electronic state, okay. In this case, dissociation may occur. Okay, let me show you how dissociation occur in this type of systems. So here I will plot internal energy, potential energy in terms of internuclear distance versus internuclear distance. In the case of diatomic molecule, only the internuclear distance is the internal coordinate. But if you go to polyatomic molecule, internuclear distance, bond angle, dihedral angle, right? Okay, depending upon the molecule, all these coordinates, okay, may act as internal coordinates. So you can plot anything. In the case of diatomic molecule, the only coordinate is the internuclear distance. Right. Now, when the dissociation occurs in the case of diatomic molecule, if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to stable excited electronic state. Suppose I'll take a stable ground electronic state. Assume that this is a stable ground electronic state, and say this is a stable excited electronic state. Okay, so this is stable ground electronic state, and this is stable. This is stable excited electronic state. Right. Now you know very well, at room temperature or at low temperature, transition always takes place from the ground vibrational state of the ground electronic state. Right. And in the excited state, we may have several vibration levels. Okay, these vibrational states are called or represented as V prime. Okay, so the V prime state. Okay, so you may have several vibrational states. So let us take this as V prime 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Suppose if transition occurs from stable ground electronic state to stable exit electronic state in such a manner that, right, if the transition leads to, okay, the dissociation limit, right, see in this vibrational state, right, the molecule will dissociate. We call this as a dissociation limit or continuum limit, because at this the molecule dissociates, so you'll get continuous spectra. Okay, so this transition, right, is what we, or the wave number corresponds to this transition is called nu bar continuum limit. Okay, nu bar continuum limit. So the molecule, once the excitation takes place here, right, this vibrational state is the highest vibrational state, right? When transition goes to that vibration state, then the molecule will dissociate, right? And this nu bar continuum limit is the minimum sufficient energy which is required for the molecule to undergo dissociation in the excited state. Okay, so molecule dissociate if the transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to stable exit electronic state, but the condition is that the internuclear distance of the ground electronic state and the equilibrium internuclear distance of the exit electronic state should differ widely, such that the transition should eventually leads to the maximum vibrational state of the excited electronic state. Okay, so in this case, how the spectrum will appear like? Okay, so if you see the spectrum usually appear like this. That is, if we plot intensity versus wave number, okay, we usually pass radiations from visible to near UV. Visible radiation and near UV radiation can cause electronic excitation, right? But if you go to far UV, right, sometime the molecule may undergo ionization. Okay, so that results into what we call photoelectron spectroscopy, right? See, in this lecture we are focusing only on absorption electronic spectroscopy, that's all. We are not going to discuss about photoelectron spectroscopy here. So to avoid photoelectrons or to avoid ionization, right, we usually pass radiation up to near UV. We never go to far UV here. Okay, then if we pass radiation, what will happen? Listen, there is a small probability for 0 to 0 transition, but sometime if the displacement is so large, 0 to 0 may not appear at all. Okay, so intensity of the first line will be very, very small. Intensity of the second line, that is 0 to 1, may be little large, then little large, then little large. It will increases, and once the maximum limit is reached, after that, okay, you will see a continuum. You can see a continuum in the spectrum, right? Whenever continuum appear in the higher wave number side, okay, then the starting point of the continuum, okay, is what we call as nu bar continuum limit. Continuum limit, and this continuum limit wave number will give you the exact dissociation energy of the molecule in the excited electronic state. Okay, so this wave number, right, using this wave number you can calculate the energy. That energy is the dissociation energy of the molecule in the excited electronic state. Okay, so dissociation may occur, okay, either in this type of excitation, and we have one more type. What is that? Let me discuss that in the next page, number 2. Suppose if transition takes place from stable, suppose if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to an unstable excited electronic state, also called a repulsive state, okay, then the molecule will decompose or will dissociate, right, by the absorption of radiation or by excitation. Okay, so how it will occur? Suppose if we plot potential energy in y-axis and internuclear distance in x-axis, okay, let me draw like this. Yeah, this for my convenience I am drawing like this. This is the ground electronic state. Okay, this is actually Morse diagram, right? And whatever that the curve appears like U, okay, it's not exactly U, appears like U. This curve is what we call as Morse curve. Now listen, this curve has a minimum, so it is a stable. It's a stable ground electronic state. So ground electronic state is stable. Suppose if the excited state is unstable state, usually if electronic state is unstable, not usually, I'm sorry, if electronic state is unstable, it does not contain any minimum. There is no minimum at all. Okay, that means, right, whenever excitation takes place from stable electronic state to a unstable state, the molecule will decompose. Okay, then before giving some explanation here, let me go back and give some values, right? I told you this transition is what we call as continuum limit. Okay, and this energy, see here, at this value of V, vibration state, the molecule will decompose, and this energy, that is from here to here, from this bottom to this energy is called equilibrium dissociation energy of the ground state. Okay, let me put double prime. Equilibrium dissociation energy of the ground state, that we know. Similarly, this energy here to here, this energy is the equilibrium dissociation energy in the excited state. Okay, in the excited state, right? Listen, this is dissociation. Here dissociation will occur, and similarly here also the dissociation will occur. Okay, but the dissociation product, okay, has different energy here, and dissociation product has different energy here. Sometime the product itself may be different. Okay, you may not get same product, right? In the case of diatomic molecule, yes, this and this will give you same product, but the energies of those products, okay, never be same, right? So keep that in mind. And this gap here to here, this gap is what we call as excitation energy. Okay, this energy is called excitation energy. Yes, this can be observed spectroscopically, or it can be calculated spectroscopically, right, called atomic spectra. Okay, so we are not going to discuss atomic spectra in this course, right? But keep this in mind. This excitation energy can be observed or can be obtained from the atomic spectroscopy, because here when dissociation takes place, you will get atoms. Diatomic molecule dissociate, you will get atoms. Similarly, here also diatomic molecule dissociate, you will get atoms. But here, one of the atom will be in the excited state, but here the atoms will be in the ground state. So if from here to here, if we observe, okay, one atom must undergo some excitation. So if you observe the atomic spectra of these atoms, right, you can easily find out what is the excitation energy of this molecule. Okay, so this excitation energy can be experimentally observed. Okay, it is possible, and we know the continuum limit, right? So keep all this information. This is very, very useful. I am going to discuss about this, and I am going to show you how to calculate the equilibrium dissociation energy of the molecule in the excited electronic state. Okay, about ground electronic state we know, but about exit electronic state is somewhat special. We are going to discuss that. Right, then let me come here. Similarly here, this energy, okay, that is the minimum energy, right, from this dissociation limit to this, right, the minimum energy is what we call it as the excitation energy here. Excitation energy. Okay, listen, this is actually an unstable excited electronic state. This is stable electronic state and this is unstable electronic state. The stable electronic state has vibrational ground state V double prime 0. So transition takes place from here to the excited state. Listen, at this level molecule will decompose. Listen, when transition takes place to any of these state, any of these internuclear distance value, suppose transition takes place from here to here, suppose, yeah, this is also possible. Okay, if transition takes place from here to here or here to here, internuclear distance are different. Therefore, whether it reach this point or this point, the molecule will decompose. No doubt in that. But the difference is when it goes here, right, the dissociated atoms have lesser kinetic energy. When it goes here, the dissociated atom has little higher kinetic energy. So this difference, that is from here to here, this difference, okay, comes out as kinetic energies of the atoms. This can also be determined experimentally. You can determine this experimentally. You can determine this experimentally. Okay, so based on these values, it is possible to calculate the dissociation energy of the ground state. Here, dissociation energy of the excited state is it's very difficult, but we can calculate the dissociation energy of the ground state. Okay, yeah. So this is a second case where the excitation leads to dissociation. Okay, so dissociation, normal dissociation occurs, okay, in UV visible spectroscopy or in electronic spectroscopy, right, by two ways. Number one, stable ground electronic state to stable excited electronic state, okay, may leads to dissociation. And the second case, stable ground electronic state to unstable excited electronic state may also leads to excitation. Right. So I have shown pictorially how these two dissociation will occur. Right. In both these cases, yeah, we are going to discuss about the dissociation energy and all, right, as we go along. Right. Before that, let me give you one more dissociation, also called pre-dissociation. Right. We'll discuss that first. Then we'll discuss what is meant by dissociation energy and how to calculate dissociation energy of the molecule in the ground electronic state, in the excited electronic state and all. Okay, and in vibrational spectroscopy we have already discussed about the method to find the dissociation energy of the molecule, specifically a diatomic molecule, in the ground electronic state. So we know how to find or how to determine the dissociation energy of the diatomic molecule in the ground electronic state. Okay, and to find the dissociation energy of the molecule in the ground electronic state, we have one more technique, that is thermochemical method. Okay, you might have heard, learned all these things in your UG course itself. Okay, so the thermochemical method of determining dissociation energy of a bond, in the case of diatomic molecule, it is dissociation energy of the molecule, right, that will give you the dissociation energy of the ground electronic state. And vibrational spectroscopy will give you dissociation energy of the ground electronic state. So dissociation energy of the ground electronic state can be determined, right, by vibrational spectra method or by using thermochemical method. Now what we are specifically concentrating here is how to find the dissociation energy of the excited electronic state. Okay, that's what our goal. But before going to that, let me give you what is meant by pre-dissociation. Right. So once we complete that, then we'll start the dissociation energy of the molecule. Right, how to determine. Now, and here, yeah, I forgot to tell you this. See, in this case, suppose if you have if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to an unstable excited electronic state, how the spectrum will look like. Since there is no quantized vibrational states here, okay, we get directly a continuum. That's all. We'll get a continuum. If a spectrum has only continuum, it is very clear that the transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to an unstable excited electronic state, and this gives you the continuum, right? Okay, this is the continuum limit, right? But here all transition leads to dissociation. Okay, that's very, very important. Keep this in mind. Okay, yeah. Then let me take the second case, second one, what is called pre-dissociation. What is meant by that? Pre-dissociation of the molecule. Pre-dissociation, right? So in the case of pre-dissociation, right, in the case of pre-dissociation, what will when pre-dissociation will occur? Suppose let me just draw and show you so that you can easily understand. Potential energy in y-axis, internuclear distance in x-axis. Just for understanding purpose, let me draw a line. For convenience, I'll draw a line. Okay, and here I have a stable ground electronic state, and I have a stable excited electronic state. Suppose, okay, I have a stable excited electronic state, and I have an unstable excited electronic state, and these two overlap, right? Whenever a stable excited electronic state and an unstable excited electronic state, okay, if they overlap, then what will happen? Okay, then some peculiar things may happen, right? Just I'll show you. Okay, right. So it is a rough sketch, so don't worry about the about some other features, right, from this diagram. Don't worry about that. Now listen, when pre-dissociation occur, what is meant by the concept of pre-dissociation? See, suppose if transition takes place from stable ground electronic state to a state where a stable excited electronic state and an unstable excited electronic state overlaps. Okay, suppose if transition takes place from, say for example, from here to here, okay, from here to here, there is no problem. Okay, I'll get here to here, I'll get lines, right, vibrational lines. Here to here, I'll get vibrational lines, I'll get quantized lines. Suppose if transition takes place, right, to here, what will happen? To this point, what will happen? In this case, listen, when transition takes place to the upper or the unstable excited electronic state, okay, the molecule dissociates. Okay, actually for this stable electronic state, the dissociation limit is here. When the transition takes place to this point, then the molecule dissociates. That is normal dissociation. But before normal dissociation, okay, if you pass some less wave number radiation or some less energy radiation, okay, the molecule will decompose when the molecule reaches this state, that is unstable excited electronic state, and this type of dissociation is what we call as pre-dissociation, right? So for pre-dissociation to occur, what's the condition? Listen, if an excited and unstable excited electronic state and a stable excited electronic state overlaps. Okay, if an unstable excited electronic state and stable excited electronic state overlaps, then the transition, the electronic transition, then the electronic transition, then the electronic transition from ground electronic from stable ground electronic state to this mixed state or overlap state. Okay, then the electronic transition from stable ground electronic state, right, may leads to okay, pre-dissociation. Why it is called pre-dissociation? Why it is called pre-dissociation? Listen, what's the meaning? Suppose if you take the spectrum for this molecule, for this type of molecule, if you plot intensity versus wave number, listen, for lower wave numbers I am getting quantized vibrational states are there, so I'll get lines like this. I'll get lines. These lines are due to quantized vibration levels present in the stable excited electronic state, right? But if transition goes and touches the unstable excited electronic state, the molecule will decompose. So you'll get a continuum. You'll get a continuum. Okay, let us assume this is a continuum. You'll get a continuum, right? Then if transition takes place from here to here, say for example, observe this carefully. Suppose if it goes here, again this is the quantized vibration state. Okay, so here to here or here to here, right? So in the same diagram I'm doing everything, so watch this carefully. Okay, right? So instead of this upper or the unstable excited electronic state, if the transition takes place to a vibrational state which is little higher than the unstable excited electronic state, okay, what will happen? Again I'll get quantized vibrational spectrum. Then what will happen if the molecule goes here? If it reaches the asymptote, right? Let me take this one. Let us take this, the asymptote. If this, right, if the transition goes to this point, then what will happen? The molecule will dissociate, and that dissociation is called the normal dissociation. Normal dissociation. Again you will get a continuum. Suppose if you get a spectrum like this, that is quantized vibration lines, continuum, again quantized vibration line, then final continuum. This indicates that the molecule is dissociated before normal dissociation. Molecule is dissociated, okay, or the molecule may, some molecule get, because when you take spectrum, we won't take a single molecule, right? We take some amount of gas, right? 1 mole of gas or 0.5 mole of gas, which consists of so many molecules, right? But when you reach this wave number, some molecules get dissociated, right? But if you will get a quantized line again after this continuum limit also. Are you able to understand? Right? And you will get final continuum limit that corresponds to normal dissociation. That is dissociation of the molecule in the stable excited electronic state. This continuum is due to dissociation of the diatomic molecule in the stable excited electronic state. Whereas this continuum corresponds to the excitation of the molecule to the unstable excited electronic state of the molecule. Okay, so before normal dissociation, sometimes dissociation of the molecule will occur, and that is what is called as pre-dissociation. Okay, so pre-dissociation occurs whenever the two excited electronic state, one is stable, the other one is unstable. If they overlap, okay, you may get a pre-dissociation. Okay, this is the concept of pre-dissociation, right? Yeah. So I stop here. We'll continue in the next class that how to find the dissociation energy of the molecule and all. Okay, yeah, I stop here.